Welcome back, everyone, to the Alienware Analyst Desk here at HRX 2018, powered by INAP. I'm Kelly Link, and I'm joined by Taco and Ro, and we are here for the grand finals of the Smite Console League. Man, I'm really excited for this, guys. It's going to be Myth Gaming versus Astral Authority. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the bracket that we saw. Strictly Business versus Myth Gaming. In the first set, we saw Myth Gaming beat them out 2-1. Actually an upset. Myth Gaming almost didn't make it to the tournament. And then below that, we see Astral Authority absolutely dominating Obey Alliance in a 2-0 matchup. Now, everyone had Astral Authority to be the favorites to win, even beating out Obey Alliance, the previous world champions, back when they were eager. How are you guys faring this competition?
Astral Authority just looks so sound as a unit right now. It's not necessarily even individual standouts, although they do have some, or what are considered some of the best players for each role on their team. But Myth Gaming at the same time, they're not a team that you can really count out ever. They've got a lot of up-and-coming talent, and even though these guys are mostly rookies as far as these LAN environments are concerned, there's still members who have been around the scene for a while.
Yeah, we saw them play yesterday. They earned their stripes. You know, they've gotten here, even though they almost didn't make it here. They're here and now in the finals as well, so they're up to them to take it to Astral today.
Before we get into game number 1, let's head down to the stage with Gabriella.
Thank you, Kelly. Everybody in the audience, are you ready for some Smite Console Finals? First team up, rocking the black and yellow, we've got Myth Gaming. And swagged out to the max, we've got Astral Authority! All right. Now I know the captains have some words to say, so Jumpahhhh, El Bro Chacho, why don't you come on down? Good. So on the side of Myth Gaming, you know, it was a little questionable of whether y'all were even gonna be here in the first place, making it all the way to the finals. How are you feeling? What are your thoughts?
I feel great, man. My team's been grinding ever since CC, and we won relegations, and now we're in finals playing against, on paper, the best team on console, and I'm ready to just win.
Oh, well, El Bro Chacho, it's not your first time here on the stage, is it?
Nope. Second year in a row. I'm ready to take it this year.
Bold words. Now, one thing, this is actually your first appearance on the stage, but you all have just blown everyone away making it this far. Are there any different feelings here that have been just kind of new that you weren't expecting?
At the beginning of the year playing CC, I never imagined to be in the finals of Worlds, so I'm like really excited, but I'm focused at the same time because I'm ready to win.
El Bro Chacho, you've come so close yet so far in the past right there. This is your opportunity to potentially take it all. Is this your year?
We've won 3 lands. We're looking for number 4 right now.
Last thing I have for you both. Jumpahhhh, what you got for your opponents to say?
3-0.
And your response?
That's a bold statement. Let's see what happens.
Well, the captains have said their words. Everyone wants to get into it, so Desk, go ahead and take it away.
Man, tensions are high. 3-0 from Myth Gaming, which I don't know is possible since they went 2-1 against their opponents last time, strictly business.
I just gotta say though, those personalities were so true to each other. Brachacho's not the kind of guy to run out immediately talking smack to you. He wants to make sure, he likes actions over words because he believes that his actions will do the talking. And right now, his team, they've been playing so phenomenally well that I can see him ready to back up his own team stake.
Oh, for sure. He said it himself. It's his 4th LAN this year, and he's here to win it. I don't think Myth should be as confident as they are, but I'm happy they are, and I'm looking forward to them playing.
Well, better to be confident in yourself than downplay.
True, true.
Myth completely understand that they are the underdogs coming into this. It's not exactly a secret that everybody who follows the console scene and knows Astral Authority can tell that these guys are up to the par, and there's a really hard task for Myth and trying to take them down. I actually love the confidence that Myth is bringing to this because all of those guys know that they have almost no expectations from the public as far as winning anything even against Astral Authority, but they have everything to gain.
Yeah, it's a good point to make. You know, they really have no pressure, and they just here and to prove themselves. You know, so
which they already did. Yeah,
they have, right? Yeah.
Strictly Business was the one team to look at to be able to take down Astral Authority after they did win those 3 LANs. But I mean, they beat Strictly Business.
They've proven their worth. So let's see if they can prove a world championship.
Looks like the players are getting set up right now. Let's take a look quickly at the solo lane matchup because that's what we're always seeing, at least over in the PC side of things. It's going to be Delnyy versus Wolves. We saw Delnyy, not yesterday, but on Thursday, pick Xingqian, KeegsMate, Sobek, very standard picks, and Wolves picking Odin and Osiris, a little different.
Yeah, I think it's just the aggression, really. One's more defensive, and Wolves, I think, is the more offensive one. And that's where I want to see the camera focusing today, especially in the early game. I think he's going to be pushing forward.
Well, joining them is going to be KhaoticPurpose on Dodgy, and then he played it twice and won twice with Dodgy. I can't imagine them allowing Dodgy to get through.
Astral Authority are just such a sound team when it comes to their picks and drafting style. They usually look for what's going to work best with their composition, and there are certain methods that Brachacho likes to follow. But Myth as well kind of understand where a lot of the pressure lies for Astral Authority to perform. You're typically going to be looking at Transonics or Coviiii, and of course, everybody expects Wolves to pop off.
Right, and Transonics on HooYi yesterday showed up. He was a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and you can't really ban that one away, really. That would be a very hard target ban. You're leaving many other things open, so I think he's going to be on it again today.
But what are certain bans that we're going to see on the console side of things that we wouldn't see over in PC?
Odin and Sobek, although I can't say that they're things we wouldn't see in PC because we've seen both of those already. Today even, I believe, but it's just that Delnyy has a really sick Sobek. He had incredible LAN performances with it, and the same could be said for Wolves. Wolves, that's basically one of his staple picks, is that Odin, and considering what it can bring to a team composition, I don't really see Myth letting Astral have it.
Well, we're about to find out, everyone. Picks and bans are ready for game number 1 of Astral Authority versus Myth Gaming. This is the grand finals of the Smite console series.
And these two teams really are just super incredible, and Myth, of course, is always going to be happy. This is basically them making finals is their tribute to Kaz already, because everybody knows it was Kaz who punched their ticket to LAN, and Myth hasn't done them any disservice by it. They made sure to be here at least.
Definitely.
Certainly agree with the Odin ban hopefully coming out early here, but the HooYi.
Wow, and you know what? Both teams play HooYi. Myth Gaming actually played HooYi in mid and over in the duo lane.
That's true, but they saw Trans on HooYi yesterday. An absolute force to be reckoned with. They don't want to deal with it today.
Osiris being banned up. Very quick bans coming from here. Very confidence from their teams, which is what we saw from that interview. So I'm wondering if these, wow, the picks coming out right away as well. KeegsMate, they will want that god.
And no real surprises either. KeegsMate is a heavily contested pick, even for console. That does leave open a couple of favorite picks, though, for Astral Authority. There's the possibilities for Amir, Odin, could even maybe look to get Coviiii on a god such as Zeus. Zeus-Odin is a classic combination as well for Astral Authority.
Certainly, they could pick Odin Zeus right now if they wanted to, but it looks like they're going to go straight for the Dodgy.
That Dodgy was insane. Although in game number 2, Astral Authority actually saw themselves with Dodgy being a little too aggressive. He almost got caught out a few times there. Maybe he's going to take a step back.
There are moments where KhaoticPurpose can, I don't want to say lose sight of his teammates, but maybe tunnel vision a little bit. Daji is one of those assassins that kind of lets you get away with it because you're usually burning your opponent's health bar before you have to really worry about getting turned on. And with the Geb selection coming through for Brochacho is probably one of the most map-aware players out there, and I'm almost certain he picked this god primarily to protect KhaoticPurpose on Daji.
You see AMC follow up on Myth Gaming right there. Why would you pick Geb, though, going back to Astral Authority's pick so soon?
Yeah, exactly, right. I don't think they needed it this soon, but clearly they've played with it. They want to protect the Daji, and they maybe think it's very important. But look what they've left open on the other side. Muzen and Raijin both picked up by Myth.
Could you imagine if they pick Ravan with the Coviiii as well? That's literally like all the top gods with their respective fields.
Yeah.
It's a strategy, trust me. There is always a solid reasoning behind Astral Authority selections. The Geb priority in the top 3 picks because it allows them now the flexibility to ban away Guardians that they don't want to have to deal with, or Guardians that Geb is going to be exceptional against.
Is this going to be Sol in the mid lane or maybe the duo lane? She has been seen to be played as a magical ADC before.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer to see it in the mid. I want to see him stay in mid with it. But
against Raijin?
Yeah, no, that's why, because I think it does hold up to Raijin quite well. If they do put a Hunter in mid in the early game with Sol anyway, so you'll have enough push regardless.
Looks like Taco was correct about that Sobek ban right there, and then Erlang Shen following up on Myth Gaming side.
Still surprised not to see any Odin touched at all.
It could just be Astral waiting for the right moment and having this heavy prioritization over the Sol, Geb, Daji. Those are clearly 3 picks that they feel the most comfortable with running. Otherwise, they would have maybe opted to select it, and they might even just trying to lean towards the Amir, because Amir with those walls can be excellent for cutting off that AMC and Raijin.
Yeah, it could do either way. AMC, no escape to get around those walls, and no escape to get out of an Odin cage if we were to see one.
Astral Authority banning out Xing Chen, not wanting Myth Gaming to have that kind of control in their team comp. Waiting for the last ban on Myth Gaming's side, and there it comes. It is the Odin ban.
It's like heavy deliberation because you know that Wolves has such a sick Amir, and he's brought it out multiple times, especially in instances where Astral really love having this double Guardian frontline face. It's very similar to what we saw from them yesterday, outside of the Sol, of course, but Sol, again, is one of those gods where you could kind of expect it to go into the mid lane only because of the fact that Transonics probably wants to play something aggressive against Muzen.
What about Osiris for Wolves? We saw him play that in the first matchup against Obey Alliance, so I can imagine seeing him right here.
This looks like,
it's already been banned away, unfortunately, which is probably the only reason why
You're
we're
right.
going to see it get picked. And again, Transonics, that has to be the Ram for him. Can't really see Ram going into the mid lane. And that is just him checking how his snipes are going to be.
I mean, he's got to feel good about being first banned with that Hu-Yi pick right there. I'm sure
that's a lot of respect coming out from Myth there.
Ganesh coming out on the side of Myth Gaming.
Yeah, so maybe they are expecting the Ymir.
Probably one of the more fun facts about this matchup is that coming into this LAN, Astral and Myth were actually very heavy scrim partners, so they kind of have an idea of what the other's playstyle is like, and I think that that's definitely influencing these priority bans that you wouldn't necessarily see in a standard matchup.
But look at this draft from Myth. Almost all top gods, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Ganesha as much, but Ganesha could be great if Astral picked the Ymir here to dash through those walls.
Between Raijin, AMC, Chulain, Rama, and those are all top picks and bans right there, and they're all on the side of Myth. And then we have Hercules coming out, an actual ban that we saw in the last matchup for the semifinals in PC side.
Still a strong solo laner.
You have to love the Hercules on Wolves as well. It's often said that there aren't pretty much any warriors that Wolves can't just pick up and play, and having that Hercules is going to provide an excellent initiation frontline that Geb might not be able to pull off.
Looking at this team comp row, who do you give it to?
Looking at the team comps alone, I'd give it to Myth by far and away, but it looks like Astral have a specific comp they wanted. They picked and they banned very quickly, so just because of that factor, I want to give it to Astral. But those gods on the side of Myth, I have to give it to Myth.
All right, Myth Gaming, 1 for Row.
I really love Myth's draft, and honestly, I think it might actually be a little bit stronger, but I think Astral have more experience, and that ultimately is going to help them gain victory.
All right, everyone, make some noise for game number 1 of the console grand finals. It is Astral Authority versus Myth Gaming.
Thank you very much, Kelly. I'm here with Anatoly. Toly, one of the biggest juggernauts in the console scene, one that we've ever seen. 3 LAN victories for Astral Authority this year, coming against possibly the darkest horse in the race possible, Myth Gaming.
It's very possible here that Myth could find more upsets here, honestly.
Yeah.
The way they've kind of showed themselves in this tournament, beating out Strictly Business here, they show that they're capable of competing with some of the best, but I don't think there's any better than Astral Authority here. Winning spring, winning the summer, you know, doing a great job here at the fall. Now they're in the position to close out the year flawlessly.
Looking at the team comps, as they were saying on the analyst desk, Myth, just such strong picks. We've seen these picks dominate on the PC side of things, but console is a different world entirely. ErupT takes some damage. Jumpahhhh going to blink forward. Myth looking to pick up first blood here, and Keegs will with the AMC.
Wow, what a tactic coming from Myth Gaming. You know, this is the kind of underdog strategy that you need to use at the beginning of the game if you want that slide edge against such a 10-year team as Astral Authority. Trying to just straight up beat them in a normal meta game, not the easiest task in the world. You throw them a curveball, you might hit a home run.
Astral letting through so many strong picks, but they've got a very specific idea in mind with this team comp, Toly. A Hercules, a Soul, things we haven't really seen earlier in this tournament.
Very true. It does seem that Astral Authority are looking to kind of place some spicy picks, go a little bit out of the conventional meta for themselves, at least. You know, Wolves is known to play almost anything under the sun, whether it's Warriors, Guardians, or even Assassins, yeah.
Speed buff here, just going to be taken, red buff going to be taken here by Astral Authority. Pretty slow start now after that first kill. Teams just going towards their buffs, towards mid camps. No spiciness after that first kill.
I mean, and look at where that first kill happened. It was on KeegsMate. He always starts off that Ninja's Tab. He loves this opening every single game he plays. Doesn't even matter what god he's playing. He'll just start it off. He likes the mobility here, and he likes the extra attack speed. It does sacrifice some sustain in lane with health potions or mana pots, but whenever you get that kind of damage and mobility, it's always worth it, especially if your support is just going to be holding your hand at the beginning of the game.
And as an AMC as well, already lacking in movement. Wolves taking some damage here from Jumpahhhh, and Delnyy pops the sprint just to get away, but Delnyy wants to keep going here under the tower. Wolves and KhaoticPurpose now maybe looking to turn it back, but it's ErupT going to take some damage on the left-hand side.
Oh, the pull is good onto Jumpahhhh. Look, waiting for the driving strike. He's actually going to catch out both of them, and that's going to be Wolves finding Jumpahhhh in return.
Great discipline there to hold onto the driving strike until he can catch 2 of them. Fantastic work out of the solo laner from Astral Authority.
Wolves can just play it all here, and that's going to punish out Jumpahhhh so hard here. Now, granted, the death earlier on was on ErupT, so he's not going to lose too much here, but the death at this point in the game onto Jumpahhhh, missing out on very important farming, is going to allow KhaoticPurpose, who's playing an assassin, mind you, a little bit of momentum now.
Playing this Darji as well, especially, you want to get her as ahead as possible. Darji from behind is so rough to play, but you get her ahead, you get a hi-rez Lament online early, that is some hefty damage.
And still having the speed buff available to him, he's going to actually go on top of the mid laner. Crimson forced to retreat under his tier 1 mid tower, but still going forward with the ultimate. Coviiii finds the kill.
Soul is so dangerous on console. It's so hard to juke out of her ultimate. And Coviiii showing that he knows how to play this Soul.
Without the escape from Crimson, that Supernova was just too easy for Coviiii to find the cleanup kill. That's already 2 quick deaths from Myth Gaming. Astral Authority taking a little bit of advantage after already losing 1.
Keegs being left alone here on the left-hand side. You know, there's always the possibility that if you're left alone as an AMC, you can get jumped on, but it's so good to get that early farm. He got the first kill, which was important for Myth Gaming, and if he can get himself ahead, well, we've seen in the previous games in the semifinals, Toly, Keegs can definitely carry.
That's true. He could potentially win that race to the max out Devil Glove stack, but look at his mana pool and his health is just almost non-existent now, and that's why Astral Authority are playing like the way they did. It was ErupT kind of zoning a little bit past the archers, being that little base like, hey, hit me, not the wave, and that's going to allow Transonics to just last hit, push the wave under the tower. That's just also forcing inbounds rotation to that long lane, making it less pressure on the mid.
All right, red buff going to spawn again here. Astral Authority with the invade this time, looking to steal this one away from Myth Gaming, and they are going to be able to. Coviiii going to pick that one up. Myth Gaming a little bit separated here, but it looks like Crimson might want to jump onto Coviiii.
Thinking about it. Inbound is here as well. He could drop the Dharmic Pillars, but El Brochacho is here. The blink through the walls. Jumpahhhh, and he wants to go in.
There's the Dharmic Pillars, there's the Taiko Drums as well, and Coviiii will fall down. Brochacho caught out alone here in the right-hand side. Midcap trying to jump away.
Nice.
Jumped on there by Crimson, and he's going to fall down. Myth Gaming, they lose themselves 2 kills on the right-hand side and respond brilliantly.
Too many forms of CC to catch out Brochacho's dash, but Coviiii prematurely using his Disapparate, trying to escape that red buff. He went towards the right side, but the rest of his team went towards the left. Myth Gaming capitalizing on that mistake.
And it was great work there by Jumpahhhh, blinking over the wall and cutting off the retreat by Astral Authority. And the Dharmic Pillars from Inbound as well, fantastic.
Still being able to strip away the red buff, so it's not all doom and gloom for Astral Authority. They're only down about 400 gold here, heading into the 5-minute mark. They're not too worried. Their composition will thrive in that late game. Brochacho's shields will come in clutch. The control that Wolves will provide for his team, not to mention the just raw damage per second Transonics is going to do with his late game ROM.
It's going to be almost impossible to kill that Hercules as well as we head towards the later stages of the game. But you got to remember, Myth Gaming, they do have themselves an AMC. They do have a Raijin, some picks that have shown to be absolutely clutch on the PC side of things. And well, AMC is just a hard carry.
That's right. The late game is going to be scary for Myth as well. And I love what Keeks did there earlier. He was managing to use that Stinger, trying to last hit that purple buff, and he just barely got it. Split the Oracles 1-for-1. No team is going to get that 1-minute vision.
Delnyy over on that right-hand side. He heard the Darji coming out from KhaoticPurpose and immediately retreated towards his tower. It's so important, and that's one of the disadvantages of Darji is actually how loud it is when she activates her abilities.
That's very true. You need to be mindful about when you activate and make sure that you're standing over your own sentry wards as well, not allowing the enemy team to get that vision on your rotations. And another attempt here in the mid lane, gonna force out that escape from Jumpahhhh, forcing out the overhead kick, forcing the Mystic Rush, trading a 1-for-1 ultimates.
Importantly though, he didn't force out the ultimate from ErupT. That is a huge team fighting ultimate, those Taiko drums. And with Crimson having that ultimate still available, Astral back off, can't really get too much more out of that engagement.
Both the beads and the ultimate from Crimson still available. I think that was the main priority. It wasn't necessarily trying to go into Jumpahhhh. Sure, you caught him, so he's going to use both the kick and the ultimate. But the main goal is to harass that mid laner. You found an early kill onto him, trying to go for a double one. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Get some momentum for Coviiii that's playing the soul.
All right, speed buff respawning on Myth's side of the map now. We see 4 members of Astral Authority over here. ErupT getting caught out here now, forced to dash away. KhaoticPurpose is sprinted here. He and Wolves are looking right at him. KhaoticPurpose going in, but the Taiko drums are fearing him away. Wolves waiting around the corner. The boulder over the wall will catch him out. Jumpahhhh now trying to get something back. The Dharmic Pillars come down. Wolves taking some damage. Delnyy gets in there, great knockup, but down comes the ultimate out of Soul. Jumpahhhh gets himself a kill. They're looking to turn on to Brochacho. Double kill for Jumpahhhh now. Wolves is the next target here for Myth Gaming. Great pluck there by Inbound. Wolves driving strike back. There's the sprint out of Myth. They're trying to turn this into a 3-for-1.
They're chasing him down. They found 2. They get number 3. Crimson, the sacrificial lamb, and Inbound going ham in the player cam, trying to taunt the Astral Authority crew.
That is one thing that is so great about console Smite is the personalities that come out to play, especially here at LAN events.
That's true, and there's no other player than Inbound right there on the bottom left side of your screen that loves to make those kinds of decisions. Already finding those 3 kills is Myth Gaming. They were able to get their own speed buff, and more importantly, who those kills went on to, Jumpahhhh.
Jumpahhhh as well just invaded the enemy speed buff, gets it, forced with the Mystic Rush, but no kills coming there for Astral Authority. So great work by Myth, taking advantage of some slight errors by Astral Authority.
This could be a slippery slope for Astral Authority here, as there's a 2-level deficit between these 2 junglers. KhaoticPurpose not getting the best start he would have liked, and Jumpahhhh, keep in mind, this was last picked for him. This Ravana, normally prioritized in both PC and console side of things, but Jumpahhhh just getting away like a bandit.
Yeah, an absolute steal of a pick there. Oracle Harpy's going to fall the way of Myth Gaming. Gold Fury is up. Delnyy going to jump away there from the pull from Wolves. Delnyy had such a great ultimate in that fight, knocking up all 3 members of Astral Authority and keeping them in the Dharmic Pillars from Inbound.
But keep in mind that Wolves will have his pull push more frequently than Delnyy will have that ultimate.
Yeah.
So there's more opportunities for the playmaking out of the Hercules' Wolves than the other side. Delnyy can also make a lot of plays happen though once he does transform and go berserk.
Brochacho hanging around the right-hand side wall, but so is Jumpahhh. Both teams looking to get a little bit of advantage here in the duo lane. Keegs hasn't really been part of this game since the very first kill, which went his way, but other than that, he's just been sitting here farming up in the left-hand side lane. And the same with Transonics. Both of these hunters, I feel like, have the exact same game plan. Just get some farm and get to the late game as quickly as possible. But
look at the difference in terms of itemization here. It's the same, right? But the main difference is Transonics has a starter item, 2 starter items on top of it. Normally, Keegs' idea by rushing Ninja Tabi is to win the race of Devil Gloves, but honestly, the stacks, it's not much of a difference at all, only by 1.
Yeah, I think... in
fact, Transonics has 1 higher stack.
There you go.
Now.
Yeah,
Awesome.
he had him backed after those last couple of waves, so now he's got double lifesteal online. It's some attack speed there, so RC a very nice semi-bridging item, but also something that's still impactful throughout the whole game. I do like the decision there from Keegs to just get that extra lifesteal online, get that penetration online early. Chacho blinks in over the wall, he catches Inbound. There is the barrage coming out from Coviiii, but he's going to be all right until no, here comes Transonics to the back, but it's Brochacho that falls down to Crimson. KhaoticPurpose will pick up Inbound. It's a 1-for-1 trade thus far.
So far, so good. Support for support, Brochacho making it happen. And that's going to allow Astral Authority to just control that mid lane a little bit longer. Keegs was waiting around the corner, hoping that Transonics would go back underneath and catch him with a nice stinger, do the damage, and without Transonics' ultimate, he would have paid the ultimate price, but not going to find it there. Coming back into the conversation of KeegsMate's Aussie, he wants to play super safe. He doesn't want to get punished against the height of Nemean lines, against the Thorns. He's going to be playing in that regard.
Well, Jumpahhh taking a lot of damage there from Wolves as he was trying to just keep him away from his solo lane at Delnyy while Delnyy backed. So I think Jumpahhh needs to realize he's not that tanky yet that he can take on a Hercules.
I mean, now having Masamune, that's going to be a huge bonus towards his defenses. Once he gets in the thick of things, getting that extra mobility, it's going to allow him to chase some of these back line carries. Coviiii and Transonics needs to be careful against Jumpahhh.
Looking at ErupT now, he's gone for that Doom Orb, already 30 stacks on it. This Raijin has done a fair amount of damage thus far in this game, and once he gets that to full, I mean, even at 30 stacks, he's going to be hitting really hard. On the other side of things, though, Coviiii going for a bit of a slower build, going into that lifesteal.
It's probably going to be the Bancrofts, unless it's a Book of the Dead. Either or would not surprise me, especially if Coviiii is thinking that he's going to be that primary target. Getting lower in the health pool while having that Bancroft's talent is going to make your Supernova just do so much damage.
Gold Fury started up here by Myth. This is a great call because Transonics and Coviiii are back in base, and it looks like Astral are going to give this up for free, and Myth Gaming get themselves the first Gold Fury of the game.
The underdog striking first blood in the kills and in the important objectives. They're just doing work all across the board. Delnyy and Wolves trading some health pool. Not too much to write home about. The player damage favoring Wolves there as he's being a big old bully in that lane, but Myth Gaming now with a comfortable 2,000 gold lead.
So we do see that Bancroft's talent coming out on Coviiii. It's going to make him very difficult to heal, very difficult to kill. KhaoticPurpose looking for a target there, but Brochacho got a blink forward onto ErupT, who uses the bleed beautifully. Delnyy taking a lot of damage. Thorns is top, but there's the Supernova that'll take him down. Jumpahhh trying to get away now as well. Astral Authority, a great pick there, but Jumpahh's going in. He's looking for KhaoticPurpose, but he misses him. Stone Shield keeping alive for now. Jumpahhh, does he have the damage to do it? No, he doesn't, and KhaoticPurpose is going to get away, and that's going to cost Jumpahhh his life.
He's trying to retreat. Brochacho is going around in a circle. Overhead kick, not enough to survive. 2 dead members out of Myth Gaming, but left side tower, KeegsMate left alone. 500 gold under Myth Gaming's belt.
Transonics is going to be rotating over to this side, so nothing further to get there for Keegs, but good on Myth for getting the tower there after they lost a couple of people in their picks. Portal Demon will fall the way of Astral Authority, however. Dharmic Pillars coming out, looking to catch out Wolves. A lot of damage. Tycho drums from ErupT, and Wolves walks into a death trap.
Trying to be the hero that Astral Authority needs, but they need him to just wait for the rest of them. Honestly, Crimson was rather low there, but without any form of ultimate, he couldn't secure it cleanly. Crimson baited out Wolves. And that was a lot of ultimates being used, trying to kill that one Myth Gaming member. And it just took a lot out of Astral Authority. And then now, without that form of ultimate, he gets punched.
All right, Delnyy pushing up the right-hand side, tier 1. Just Brachcha here to stop him. Coviiii is rotating over though, so Delnyy not going to take too much of a chance. This does allow Jumpahhhh to pick up his own speed buff. Transonics and Wolves actually portaling here over to the right-hand side. So Keegs, again, going to be left alone here on the left.
Jumpahhhh might be in a little bit of trouble. Wolves coming around the backhand side. Brachcha's backing onto the tier 1 solo team.
Keegs needs to be careful.
Yeah, he's going to be fine though. Wolves in a 1v2 spot. He's not too worried. He's Hercules, level 13 with Breastplate of Valor maxed out. So he's going to be spamming those abilities and getting a lot of sustain.
KhaoticPurpose going in there on inbound, but with the silence coming out of Ganesha, you really struggle as a Daji trying to go in on that target.
That's very true. That's why Daji was such an interesting pick. There's so many forms of disruption to prevent that damage over time.
Jumpahhhh getting caught out here. So many ultimates being burned for that Ravana. Great Atomic Pillars coming out of inbound there. No one's dead yet. Jumpahhhh taking a lot of damage from the boulder, but here comes ErupT. The Taiko drums come out. The drums of war. KhaoticPurpose somehow still alive. Jumpahhh's going to be the first one to fall in this fight. Delnyy trying to do what he can for his team, but it's not enough. Inbound forced to get away as well. Delnyy dashing away, but there's a snipe from Transonics just hitting Keegs. Transonics very low as well, so Myth got a lot of people low, but get no kills. Astral Authority claims the blood in that fight.
KhaoticPurpose was just dangling himself like a juicy piece of meat for Myth Gaming to take a bite out of, and Jumpahhhh a little bit too far out of position. Astral Authority get the only kill of that engagement, but because KhaoticPurpose and Transonics was so low, they both had to back. They couldn't really get an objective after the fact. If they were both healthy enough, they probably had to go mid or right side and try to siege a tier 1 tower.
Delnyy, right-hand side, he's actually doing very, very well here up against Wolves. Despite the fact that Wolves has gotten 3 kills for Astral Authority, Delnyy has more than held his own in this lane and been a big contributing factor to these fights for Myth.
Absolutely, he's just being a nuisance with that knockup, and once he transforms, he's just howling at the moon, basically, and chasing people down with not only Vent Anger, but also that mystical mail that he's completed. You get that 5% movement speed from the second ability, and now you got 2 forms of damage over times.
I want to talk as well about Inbound and the fantastic game he's having. The Dharmic Pillars have been so well placed in his last few fights.
He's just positioning himself beautifully. He was focused in mid early on in the game. He was barely able to escape there. I think it was actually a trade 1-for-1 of Brachcha, but he's willing to put himself out of position if it's for the greater good of his team, and that's kind of the player that Inbound is. He's going to be shouting at the opposing team, but he's definitely going to take one for his own.
Inbound looking to maybe blink over this wall here, try and catch someone out. Sorry, he doesn't even have a blink, but he's just looking over the wall, trying to do what he can for his team. Brachcha and 2 others from Astral Authority in the mid lane. You can tell that both of these teams just want to fight each other.
Right, it's very risky for KeegsMate to be that far extended on the left side, unless he just wanted to push out the wave to the point that the rest of his team could collapse on this goal. Fury speed buff has respawned. Wolves sees 2 members from Myth Gaming. This could be the telltale sign of starting the gold, especially if Wolves is going to do this and steal the speed.
He stole away the speed buff there. Now on the left-hand side, a fight is breaking out. Inbound, taking a lot of damage. There's the ultimate out of Daji. Diamond is coming out. Drums of war going off, but it's KhaoticPurpose that will pick up Inbound.
And now Crimson doesn't have his ultimate to continue this team fight. Jumpahhhh though in the backside, catching KhaoticPurpose up and down. Brachcha gets taken out by Keegs. Double kill for KeegsMate.
He's looking for a triple here as well against his opposite Hunter. Transonics with the Aegis. The sprint pops now by Wolves. And Wolves picks up KeegsMate and puts him into the wall.
Wolves making the hot rotation, but he's not done yet. Jumpahhhh is trying to run away. He's going to get zoned out by Crimson. Delnyy in the backside, making Transonics' life a little bit more difficult, but finally able to retreat under safety. At the end of the day, it was a 3-for-2. Actually, it was a 3-for-3? No, 3-for-2 for Myth Gaming.
Now Delnyy looking to steal away this red buff, like Wolves stole away the speed. Delnyy ultimate there onto Transonics, who doesn't have his relics available, forces to jump away, and Delnyy picks up that red buff as well.
Very important red buff steal. Don't allow this level 16 Ram any extra damage than you already have to. With this Executioner completed, that attack speed, the penetration shred of the stacks and all that stuff, you don't want to deal with it here, especially once he pops that steroid ability.
Wolves has had a great game. That's all Transonics. I like that, getting the Stone Shields to tank up some of the Portal Demon. Just saying, Wolves has had such a great game for Astral Authority, but we're seeing Myth Gaming as a team, as a whole, really step it up.
Absolutely. Myth Gaming has just not let go of the pressure ever since the very beginning when they all grouped up and they found that early kill onto Brochacho. It was a lot committed and they showed basically their strategy. I don't expect Astral Authority to fall for that again in game number 2, just no matter what the result is here in game 1.
Right, Gold Fury started up again by Myth Gaming. They've got a lot of damage onto that with KeegsMate being on this AMC, and they've got the Raijin as well, but they spot Coviiii and back away. First Gold Fury did go the way of Myth Gaming, totally.
That's right. Can they get the second one is the question to extend that advantage. Crimson's forced to dash away, now using the beads to prevent the pull from KhaoticPurpose. Inbound is in position. Delnyy on the backhand side.
Dharmic Pillars come down. Delnyy's in here as well. Jumpahhhh jumping forward, but not to find KhaoticPurpose. Transonics dealing some damage here. Looking to deal some more here. KhaoticPurpose jumps in, but here comes ErupT as well. Delnyy now returning favor towards Astral Authority.
Delnyy's about to transform here. Coviiii uses that supernova. Brochacho with the knockup to peel for the moment. Delnyy not gonna find the root actually, or the damage. Transonics is gonna cancel his ultimate, land back down early. They're gonna try to collapse and help out Brochacho. Actually, it's KhaoticPurpose that gets taken out. Wolves gets Keegs though in return.
1 for 1, but Myth Gaming, Keegs was taking the gold through that entire fight. So thus far they're coming out on top here. Delnyy backing away, and now look at this Transonics out of position. But Wolves with the boulder takes down Jumpahhhh inbounds. The next target here dashing forward, but there's Coviiii to clean it up. 3 for 1.
Wolves is the hero Astral Authority need right there, cleaning up so many Myth Gaming members, losing Gold Fury. That's A-okay, because it's a 3 for 1. And I believe Astral Authority, they're going to start grouping up and start knocking on the tower's door, unless they're feeling a little no, they're going to go for some towers. I'm like, they could try to go for Fire Giant.
Yeah, they're a little bit split there as well. I feel like some members wanted the speed buff or the Portal Demon, the Fire Giant, Tier 1 tower, but they end up taking the tower in the end and then heading towards
Why
the
not all 3,
exactly.
says Astral Authority, but they have to do it in a priority checklist. On the backside, Delnyy gets spotted by the ward. Transonic's gonna eat a little bit of damage here. Coviii's gonna zone him out. Crimson though, trying to get some pot shots through the wall. Trans taking more damage than he needed.
Drums of War coming out and Myth steal it. Delnyy's going to pay for it with his life at this, but still, here come the rest of Myth Gaming.
Inbound goes through the portal, but the rest of his teammate is content to retreat from battle. Crimson wants no part of that action any longer. It's a 5-on-4 for Astral Authority for 40 more seconds. They don't secure the objective, but they need to find another one, maybe in the form of this Tier 1 tower on the right.
It's very, very low. It's right there for the taking for Myth Gaming. Jumpahhhh here, trying to fight Wolves. He thought Inbound was going to help him. Now he's just chasing after him. You're 4 levels behind, mate. Be careful that you don't bite off more than you can chew.
Definitely against a level 19 Hercules. It's not many gods that can go up against that big boy. But right side tower still being looked at. Wolves might just honestly tank that tower whenever he wants to, maybe even bait out some early rotations. Astral could take advantage of that by collapsing onto Keegs. I'm surprised they haven't been doing more of that actually, considering, you know, he doesn't have a natural escape. He does have that double life still like you were mentioning earlier on, but still, as long as you can collapse on him as a team and a unit, that B is going to go back in the hive.
He's had such great positioning thus far, Keegs, you know, keeping himself out of the main fights, trying to stand in the backline so he can essentially free cast onto the enemy. And we saw in the last fight as well, he just went and took the Gold Fury, soloed it down by himself, took it for free. So that was a bit of a risky call there. And we saw, you know, how it played out with Astral being able to get the 3 kills. And it's a credit to Astral that despite the 2 Gold Furies that Myth Gaming have got so far, they're still so close.
That's right. They're only down about 1,100 gold at the 22-minute mark, making this game practically even. Inbound, barely able to escape the clutches of a 1v3. Astral Authority certainly would love to collapse on that isolated Ganesha, but instead now regrouping with the rest of his teammates down the mid lane. Myth Gaming, without their Tier 1 mid tower, they need to be careful here.
Yeah, look at KhaoticPurpose here, just looking for a target. Early silence there from Inbound just to prevent the jump onto KeegsMate. Now Delnyy
could be left alone here. He's caught in a 1v2, jumps over that knockup. Very important, but blinking in the backline is Jumpahhhh. Gonna do some damage onto Coviiii.
Trying to force out relics there. KhaoticPurpose using the ultimate, doesn't find anyone. Gonna jump back away, but here comes Jumpahhhh jumping in. Coviii's the target. Dharmic Pillars come down, great knockup. KeegsMate gets a kill. Boulder around the backside, doesn't hit. Jumpahhhh. ErupT's got himself a kill in this fight as well. He's got himself 2 kills. You gotta look out. Wolves is in the back line. Transonics up in the sky, raining down hell. Delnyy pushes back Wolves. Wolves taking some damage here from KeegsMate. Keegs doing so much damage, but that Hercules heal is filthy and it'll keep Wolves alive for now.
Wolves is forced to retreat under his own Tier 2 tower. Great initiation by Jumpahhhh and Delnyy, finding an early kill onto Coviiii, and now Wolves is caught in the
late.
stinger. He can't dash away. 4 dead members out of Astral, and Myth Gaming, the team that shouldn't even be here, are beating Astral Authority.
Transonics goes down deicide for Myth Gaming, the team that needed an EU team to help them even get to the stage, taking it to the undefeated land champions of the year, Astral Authority. Rochacho doing what he can here, but Myth Gaming, they want it all here right now. They're looking for the middle Phoenix.
They're gonna get it here, actually, Husey, but the question is, at what cost? Here comes KhaoticPurpose, here comes Coviiii. They want some blood. They find Inbound, still Jumpahhhh securing that Phoenix alongside Delnyy. Coviiii finding one, but gets responded to by Keegs.
Keegs is going off this game, 7, 2, and 4. You said it before, Tolly, Astral Authority haven't really looked to just dive all in on him, and he's been allowed to just shoot auto attack after auto attack into the face of the enemies. We saw that with these chin size now online, he's been able to shred through even the toughest of opponents, being Wolves.
That attack speed with a hive intact is probably already maximized at 2.5. You cannot handle the level 20B here, or even going for more penetration. Brawler's beat stick against this Hercules. A little bit of anti-healing doesn't hurt.
Astral now looking towards this Gold Fury. ErupT going to spot them out here. Don't know if he knows that they're starting it or not, so this could be a little bit of good return here from Astral. ErupT sees what's going on
they
now.
Know. They most certainly know. That's why Crimson did not finish that red buff. Recognizing this, Astral Authority wants nothing to do with this level 19 Raijin, and I think that they're just thinking that they barely got caught there.
Delnyy on the right-hand side here, going to go ahead and steal some buffs away from Astral, knowing that they're over there on that left-hand side. And now Keegs and Inbound are going to start up this Gold Fury. Keegs just absolutely melting through this objective. Wolves is here, so they know that, all right, Hercules has showed up. We got to be careful.
That's very true, because you don't know who's behind that Hercules. More importantly, Wolves couldn't really find a counter ward right there. It's Myth Gaming controlling that side of the map. Coviiii getting bullied out by Delnyy. He's just been struggling a lot this game. Now, despite having 6 kills, that 4 deaths is the more important stat line.
Wolves taking a lot of damage here. Transonics trying to steal it away, but Myth Gaming get their 3rd gold for the game. Diamond Pillars come out, the sprint is popped. Myth Gaming looking for it all here. Transonics taking a lot of damage. Jumpahhhh jumping in. Aegis forced onto Transonics, but Jumpahhh's sticking to him like hot glue, and Jumpahhhh picks up Transonics. Delnyy in the back line, 1v3. He's looking for Coviiii here. Can he find him? KhaoticPurpose doing what he can, but the drums of war are too much. ErupT gets a kill. Rochacho gets one, but Jumpahhhh gets another one. Keegs gets one. They're all falling down like Skittles. Myth Gaming, deicide. They're gonna take game 1.
Beautiful play coming out of Myth Gaming, the team that didn't belong here at Worlds originally. Thanking Kaz Esports right now. They're here at the finals. They beat Strictly Business, and now they just defeated Astral Authority.
Game 1 goes to Myth Gaming. No one thought we'd be saying that right here. And Myth, look at them there in their chairs, breathing that little sigh of relief, knowing that we did it. These guys are beatable. They are not untouchable.
That's very true. They got to keep this momentum riding. Don't let anything go. Keep on keeping on, and don't stop.
Well, we know what we saw, Tolly. I want to know what the analysts saw there. Kelly, why don't you guys tell us how Myth won that game?
Thank you so much, Husey. And although I wouldn't say that everyone wasn't saying that it was going to be possible for Myth Gaming to beat them out, because I believe Jumpahhhh said that they were going to go 3-0, and there's the 1-0.
That's 1 out of 3. That's already 33% of the way there. But Astral Authority is a team that's known for heavy responses, especially when they go down in that sort of manner. They looked a little bit scatterbrained towards the end of the match. I'm almost certain they were probably discussing how they could improve things for the second go-round.
For sure, and I think the #1 thing they do need to improve on is that drafting, right? I don't know how you beat all of those gods, top gods on the side of Myth. I don't know how you beat that many at once.
That's right, we had Chulain, AMC, Raijin, and Ravana together, and then with the Ganesha providing that silence.
He played it great.
It worked really well, he did. And I believe we actually have some replays right now from the games from the first match of the day.
Just a lot of high priority picks, and on top of that, so much damage, really. I mean, even the Ganesha could deal a fair bit of damage early on, and just that start alone really helped Myth Gaming get into the mentality of, yes, we can do this. We can take Astral Authority head on and eliminate them from this finals. And I mean, this is one step of many. like we already talked about, they've definitely got a long ways to go before they can actually call themselves world champions, but that's a very strong start.
Was there a weak link in Astral Authority's game there? Between the picks and bans or even the gameplay itself?
The gameplay itself, I think, was fine. You know, we saw them fight back in the early lane phase.
Several
Soul got a kill
times.
and Hercules got a kill, and it was 12-12 at, I think, 20 minutes. And Myth was still ahead 3K at that point. But it's the picks. That's by far the biggest reason they've struggled the last game.
I would have preferred to see Coviiii on a different selection other than the Soul. He opted for a Polynomicon actually in the 4th item slot right after Obsidian Shard. And in general, Poly sure can be great on certain mages, but I don't feel as though he was able to actually utilize his abilities and synchronize them along with his auto attacks in order to deal enough damage to really hinder Myth Gaming from diving him.
Well, in first game that we saw with Coviiii on Thursday, he picked Chang'e and Kukulkan, or Kukulkan, I should say. Are you expecting to see one of those picks come out? Probably not the Chang'e.
Yeah, the Chang'e didn't work out. And look, the Soul really was fine. It was the issue of just Myth having too many good gods. I don't think the team on Astral's, the gods on Astral's team were that bad individually. It's just that you couldn't give up that many top gods to the opponent team.
But they already banned Serket and Ullr. If you don't ban them, you're giving it to them.
Yeah, but they should take some as well. I think, you know, Astral are obviously well practiced on these gods they're picking, but some of these aren't as good, in my opinion anyway, in most people's opinion, I think. There's a reason they're not as much in the meta. Aren't as good as those other picks, so they need to take some of them.
And plus, Jumpahhhh was non-stop bombarding Coviiii and whoever else he could find. But it was pretty much almost always Coviiii or KhaoticPurpose, and it's really difficult again for the Daji pick facing off against the Ravana, although Astral weren't really, they had to make a choice. Do we focus out Delnyy in the solo lane, which is what they chose to do with their 3rd and 4th pick bans, eliminating Subpick and Xing 10,
right.
But that did give the option of Ravana for Jumpahhhh. I would probably expect Astral, if they do elect to go Daji again in their first 3, to get rid of that Ravana.
But then what do they sacrifice? Do they sacrifice the Xing Chen ban?
Probably a Xing 10.
Yep.
It would have to be, or they could even take the Xing 10 for themselves as opposed to the Geb, have a different kind of style to bring for their team fight, and maybe even a little bit of a better escape. Geb rollout can be great once you get into that CC immunity portion of it, but Myth just had so much to cut off Rochacho from really using that.
I mean, you can definitely give credit to the gods that they picked, but Myth Gaming also just played really well. They had such early aggression on before the 1 minute mark, even getting a kill into Geb, and then but Astral Authority would always respond pretty well. They really didn't get behind at all until the very end of the game, and actually they were in the lead with kills around the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, both these teams are playing very well. They've scrimmed a lot, as we can see. I think it's just the picks. That's the issue. They've got to be talking about that right now. They really need to fix that. So I'm going to see if, I'm waiting to see if they see some cheesy stuff or they just go back to the meta and play a solid game.